And also because for those of you who may not know, I work in retail management, and I was at work one day last week, and it was a customer, a female, of course, because I work in a women's clothing store, and she was at the register, and she was asking me about a dress or a shirt or something for her daughter. And I was asking, I said, well, how old is she? What grade is she in? She said she was 14. So when you 14, you in the 9th grade. And so she asked me what did I think about the shirt or the dress. I think it was a dress. And the shirt or the dress, whichever one it was a halter top. And so we know the halter tops, they like this horizontal cut and the shoulders and everything out. And so, you know, when she asked me my opinion about it, I was like, I don't really think that's too appropriate for somebody that's 14. I can't remember exactly how I worded it, but if you follow me, I'm a straight shooter, y'all. Like I shoot straight from the hip. Like I don't sugarcoat. Of course, when I'm at work with customers, I try to be more tactful than I am in real life, or not real life, but you know, in person or whatever, outside of work. But I'm a straight shooter. You know, I don't sugarcoat, but you know, I kind of was like, I didn't really agree with it, you know. And one thing I hate when people ask me my opinion about something, especially when it comes to like their teenage daughter or something like that, and then they ask me what I think about it, and then when they don't hear the response that they're looking for, when I don't co-sign off on approving a halter top for a 14-year-old, and I guess they feel some type of way, and then what they looking for is your validation and your approval to say that it's okay or to say that it's appropriate. But when I don't co-sign, you know, they tend to lean more towards what they're gonna get it anyway, you know. And I kind of have a problem with that, but of course it's not my child, and people gonna do what they're gonna do. But that's one of the reasons that I started Fashion of the Day in the first place, because you know, I got tired of seeing women and young girls and teenagers, impressionable girls coming to my various jobs in the past and currently with, you know, little to no clothes on. And it just had grieved me and vexed me so. You know, they come in there with little booty shorts on, and some of the dresses be so short, it look like they don't be having no panties, and just, you know, and it just really grieves me. You know, they wearing the bras and the see-through shirts and stuff now, the bras through the see-through shirts and the mesh shirts. And, you know, I asked some, they'll ask me, you know, my opinion and what I think about it. And, you know, and I'll be like, okay, well, what you gonna wear with it? You know, trying to throw a little hint or whatever. And they be like, oh, I'm gonna wear it like this. And I just be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I never co-sign it. Like, because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna co-sign it. If I say I'm a God-fearing woman, you know, I'm not co-signing it, you know. So I don't know. That's just the world that we live in. And I know people gonna do what they want to do and dress how they want to dress or whatever. But you just need to be you need to be aware that there are a lot of predators out there, and I know all too well. I know firsthand, and the sad reality is that there just are some sick, demented, and twisted individuals out here in the world, unfortunately, and a lot of them be right there in your family. A lot of them be right in the church. All right, so, you know, ladies, y'all need to kind of be mindful of the examples that you setting for your young girls. Be mindful of how you dress, how you talk around them, you know, the words that you use, things that you watch. Like you especially when they really young. When they really young, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, when they coming up, like they like sponges. They soak up everything, and you may think that they're not paying attention, but trust me, I have 3 children and they are paying attention. They are very much paying attention. They very observant. These children are very smart. So don't underestimate their mental capacity to be able to, you know, remember what you did or said in front of them, because they will remember. And children, I've learned, they don't do what we tell them to do. They do what they see us do. And they may not do it in front of you, but when they get the opportunity, they're gonna do it. And you know, another issue that I have is a lot of these new age parents, they try to be their kids' friend. And my oldest son just turned 20, and after I got saved, because like I said, I wasn't always this woman, but you know, after I got saved, I started, which has been about 6 years now. You know, I started to do a 180, and I started to lead more by example and different things like that. And you know, of course, he grown now, but I did the best that I could. And before I was saved, I didn't always set the best example or use the best standards or whatever. I didn't. I'm not gonna act like I did. I was you know, the primary parent or whatever, caregiver in the household. But you know, I did the best that I could. But after I got saved, then I began to, you know, it was a huge transformation that they were able to see my boys, because I have two sons, and my youngest son, he just turned 17. And so yeah, but they are watching you. You may think that they're not watching you, but I promise you they are watching you. So just be mindful, be aware of what you do, what you say, how you dress around your young, especially your young girls. I'm telling you. And ladies and men too, edify and affirm your daughters. I'm telling you, because if you do not edify your young girls, if you do not affirm them and build them up and lift them up, when they get out here in the real world and out here at these different schools and stuff, them little boys, they gonna get in their ear, and possibly men, you know, because let's just keep it real, some men are predators and they like young girls, and you know, it's a lot of snakes out here. I'm just keeping it a book. But affirm your young girls, affirm them, edify them, lift them up, build them up, and lead by example. Trust me, because you do not want, or you should not want, your daughter to be a teenage mother like I was. I'll be 39 in August, and I got pregnant with my oldest son when I was about 18 or 19 years old. And so I've been a single parent for pretty much all of his adult life. You know, I mean, about 21 years now. I've been doing this on my own, never been married. So, you know, that's not the example that I want to set for my daughter, for my sons, or for anybody. You know, and me being a role model, I want to lead by example, because, you know, I am a social media influencer and a life coach, a woman of God. You know, I have a ministry, an online ministry. And so, you know, I need to make sure that I'm leading by example, because I do have people, you know, from time to time that'll come in and say, hey, your videos are helping me, or whatever. And so, you know, I need to make sure that I'm leading by example, you know, and so that I won't be a hypocrite. But I didn't mean to make this video this long, but I just wanted to shed some light on that. And one more thing before I get ready to go, ladies, listen to me. Do not let any and everybody keep your children, your little girls, your little boys too, but especially your daughters. If they don't want to go over such and such house, don't make them go. All right? If they start acting funny, acting sad, depressed, you need to look out for signs. And I'm not trying to scare nobody, but I'm just telling you what I know firsthand. And the hurt and the pain that I have experienced in my life, I don't wish on my worst enemy. I promise you I don't. I promise you I don't look like what I've been through. If I told you my story, you probably wouldn't believe me. It wouldn't be a dry eye in the room. So listen, lead by example. All right, lead by example, and I'm out. Peace.